not pass go. Do not collect $200, go directly to jail and miss your turn. So you got to take another lap in the desert. It is Groundhog Day and you are back facing the same lesson that you have faced before. You are either back in debt, you're back in that toxic relationship, you're back on whatever vice it was. You've been caught cheating, lying, manipulating, whatever your lap is. Every man has his laps that he repeats throughout his life until he finally extracts the lesson. Without revelation from the pit, the lap that you're in, you will repeat. Without revelation, you will repeat. If you do repeat and you have to start back at the beginning, there is a process that you could follow to make sure it never happens again. Welcome back to the High Value Man Conversation, my friends. This is episode 37, and it is titled, Take a Lap. This is going to be a 3-part series on what to do if you have to begin again and start all over, doing life differently, knowing what you know now. And so we all have the roadblocks. We all have the challenges. We all have the obstacles. We all face seasons where we feel like we've done this thing before. We've gone around the merry-go-round a couple times. We're like, man, this looks familiar. I'm in one of those seasons. And so I'm going to share openly and honest with you one of the things that I'm doing right now in this season where it feels like, man, my feet are tired. My legs are sore. I feel like I've been walking in the desert. I feel like I've already done this. I feel like I've already seen that mirage. All right, we're going again. Well, clearly we're going again because I didn't learn the lesson. So the Israelites in the Bible, the Old Testament, they had to take 40 years of lapse in the desert because they weren't obedient to God. They didn't extract the revelation, and so they had to repeat. If you don't extract the revelation, you end up repeating. And so a great way that you can make sure you never take the lap again, if you're in a lap, is to get really clear. And so I've got an assignment here for you that I'd love for you to do. And if you are listening to this on the podcast via audio and you're driving, you're cruising, this is going to be an episode that you're going to want to go check out on the YouTube because I've got a little drawing and a doodle here that I'm going to be doing live. But if not, it's pretty straightforward. What I'm going to draw out for you first, right in the middle of the page, is the word purpose. Every man wants to live his purpose. And I believe that when we live our purpose, we stop taking laps. Anytime we deviate from our purpose, and your real purpose is the purpose that God gives you, it is your God-given blueprint, your unique purpose. And only God knows really what that is. And so you have to build a relationship with him, which means you have to listen to him, which means you got to talk to him, which means there has to be some level of obedience with him. And so if you're struggling and you're taking laps, it's more than likely because you have not been obedient to something that God has asked you to do, or it's already laid out in the Bible and you're just choosing to be disobedient. So it makes sense that you're being punished, or it would feel like you're being punished. It's actually just a great lesson for you. But either way, the purpose is the purpose. The purpose is all of our purpose, to live our God-given purpose, to live a life of fulfillment and truly know that what we are doing is for him and for the kingdom. I think any man would agree that purpose is ultimately why we're here. And so your purpose, your God designed, that unique thing that you're here, it comes from 4 P's. And so if you got a piece of paper in front of you, this is a really good exercise to do live. But your very first P is your pain. Your pain. Yes, those laps in the desert, a powerful lesson. So all the things that you have struggled through in your life, I call them your big T and then your little T traumas. Those share the insight for your purpose and the work that you get to do. You see, God gives you your misery so that it can be your ministry and help other people. And so whatever you have worked through and whatever you are walking through, that ultimately is a big piece of your purpose. So take some time to look at all the lessons that you've learned over the years. For example, I dealt with not having the father figure that I most wanted. Hint, hint, none of us did growing up. I was raised by a single mom, and I had a hard time trusting other men. All that pain has been a big part of my purpose where I help build better men, develop relationships with men. And I'm able to go out in front and be open, honest, and transparent so that I can deepen that relationship. All that pain really helps serve me because I hope it never happens to anyone else. And so take some time, look at some of your big T and little t trauma over the years. Look at those. Are there any patterns? Are there any patterns to the pains that you walk through? Well, if there's some patterns to it, more than likely there's some meat there and some lessons and some revelations that you get to extract so that you can really define your purpose. So if you're in a lap right now and it's painful, well, what are you learning? What are you learning from it? I'm learning in this season of transition right now that I need to put God first. That is my biggest, most important lesson, is that I have been struggling at really submitting and surrendering. So that is such a powerful lesson. I didn't have that for so long. It's the reason why I've taken so many laps. I try to do it Erin's way. Erin's way doesn't work. On the other side of pain is the other arm for this, and that's going to be your passion. And so when you think about what your purpose contains, it has passion and it has pain in it. Passion, the root word of passion, literally means to suffer, passion of Christ. But your passion are the things that you get very convicted about, very excited about. Like what are those things that you could watch, a documentary on? What are those things that really move you? What are the movements and the channels and the social media accounts? What are the things that you're deeply passionate about? List out 5 of these, 5 passions. So for me, it comes down to really helping the next generation of men. It comes down to men's work, men's healing, men that are struggling and suffering, because it's connected to my pain. Pain and passion are deeply connected. So if you're having a hard time discovering what your purpose is, you feel with no purpose, start to extract some lessons from these 2 areas. Otherwise, you end up repeating it. Now, here's the thing. God wants you to live out your purpose. He wants you to show up in the world and honor and glorify him by being your unique and beautiful butterfly self. Yes, you are a unique and beautiful butterfly, my friend. No one's told you that before. Butterflies are not only unique and beautiful, they're also the most savage creature in all of God's kingdom. Think about what the butterfly has to go through to become a butterfly. First, he begins his life crawling around in the dirt as a squishy, fat, just round little blob of a caterpillar. Caterpillars are just meat on the ground, walking around waiting for someone to step on them or eat them. They are vulnerable. They've got this gooey outside skin. They're gelatinous. Like they just crawl in the dirt. That's a caterpillar. Then they have to enter into their pain. Their pain is the cocoon of the darkness, where they have to leave the world that they know and step into a total and complete transformation. Now, it gets harder. It gets dark. They're in the pit. It is uncomfortable. But then their skin rips open from the inside and out flutters out some new wings, and they grow arms and legs, and their outside becomes tough, becomes a shell. And then they have these beautiful wings. And even after they break out of the cocoon, their life is still not yet easy, because now they got to pump blood into these freshly built wings and learn how to defy gravity. So they crawl in the dirt. They go through massive transformation. Then they have to learn how to operate the new suit of what they're in to be a beautiful butterfly. That's you. You're a beautiful butterfly, in case nobody has told you. And as soon as you figure out and discover, uncover, and start living your God design, what your purpose is, your pain's going to make sense. It's going to be the catalyst for your transformation, and it's going to give way to your passion. Now, once you got your pain and passion down, I want you to list out at least 5 pains, by the way, and 5 passions. You're going to start to see some common threads. Once you've got those down, you're going to start being able to circle the golden thread. And I'll tell you more what the golden thread is here in just a second. Now, we got to start getting tactical. And I want you to do is list out your priorities, where you spend your time, how you spend your hours in the day. If you don't have a purpose, you want to discover your purpose, it is hidden in the gems of the day. So many people get caught in the busy and the boring, and they never really dedicate the discipline and the time to building their purpose. And so they wonder why they never have it. Well, they don't have it because they're not building it. They're not creating it. They're not extracting it. And they're not paying attention to the very important details throughout the day when God gives you the whisper of what your purpose is all about. And so what you're going to do is, for 30-minute increments for 48 hours straight, I want you to time track everything you do. And you're going to do this on one of those yellow pads, one of those notepads that has the lines on it, those ruler pads. And on the left-hand side, it's got the little box. On the left-hand side, the little box, I want you to write the time and then what you did on every single line. Every 30 minutes, you're going to time track all of the things that you do in a 48-hour period. It means if you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, from 4 to 4:30, what did you do? Write it down. From 4:30 to 5, what did you do? Write it down. 1 sentence or less. 5 to 5:30, what did you do? And you're going to notice, first off, how much time you waste throughout the day. And if you're wondering what your purpose is, you're wasting frickin' time, then that's going to be a really good indicator that you're not really trying to figure out what your purpose is. But then the second piece, once you got 48 hours worth of data, what I want you to do is I want you to go back to your sheet, and I want you to do 3 things. I want you to put a plus next to anything that energizes you. excites you, you feel enthusiastic about, that you love doing. And then I want you to put a minus against anything that drains you, that you should not be doing, that you could probably delegate and elevate from, that is just really not your 10%, your 5%. Just you shouldn't be doing it. And then equals is anything that's neutral. You just got to do it. You got to drive the kids to school, whatever that is. And so plus, minus, and equals, 48 hours straight. And you're going to start to see some threads of things that make you excited, that you would love to do more of. And the goal with our purpose, we start doing more of the things that we're good at. We start connecting them to things that we hope nobody, that's the pain, has to walk through. And we start living in a passionate way. Then ultimately what starts happening is you start having play. Now, the last piece of this assignment, as you are redefining you and you're walking out of the pit and you're going to start resetting some new ways of being, we got to bring in a little bit more of the playtime. And I'm not talking about video games. I'm not talking about vices. I'm talking about, what would you do for free? What would you do for free if all your bills were paid? What would you do for free if all of your bills were paid that you absolutely lose track of? And so for me, I would coach. I love coaching. I love teaching. I love learning. I love being able to be a student. I love being able to help someone through the process of getting them breakthroughs. I love this. I love this kind of work. And so I would do this for free all day long. I love coaching. I absolutely love coaching. I love teaching. I love coaching. I love being a student. And so that would be part of my list. And so as I list this out, coach and teach, fitness and mindset. And my pain is around helping men and leveling up, God, and destroying the ego. And my passions, where, man, I just totally get into it, is, again, helping men. It's going to be the next generation. I mean, my relationship with God, also fitness, my priorities throughout the day. This starts to become more clear. As you start finding the commonalities from each of these sections here, whatever that happens to be, that's your golden thread. The golden thread is the peace of God that lives inside you, and it shows up when you're connecting the dots. Now, here's the thing. If you're in a lap right now, you're taking a lap in the desert, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. That's why it is so important for you to reflect. Reflect and take time before moving forward. Reflect so you can get the revelation. Reflect so you can get the revelation, my friends. I tell you what, though, if you are right now in a season where you are taking some laps in the desert, man, enjoy it. Enjoy it, because here's the thing. This too will pass. This too will pass. That's such a good reminder for the Stoic philosophy, that this too will pass. The good days, the bad days, the hard days, at the end of the day, they're all just days, and you don't get to take any of this with you. And I shared this on the last episode, and I want to remind you of this, that this is all ultimately just a dream. It really is. This is a grand dream, and you are the one that is conducting the dream. Your experience is whatever you decide to make it. And the way that you can truly take control of this whole thing is to just decide. Decide that this is going to be different. Do something different than you've ever done before. Put yourself out there. Let those parts of yourself that don't serve you die. And believe at the end of the day that there is a far greater kingdom for you waiting on the other side of all the stuff that you don't want to do. The stuff you don't want to do, like maybe change the work you're in, or end the relationship, or speak up for yourself, or stand up, start the business, whatever it is, that thing that you don't want to do, that you have the fear that is holding you back. How long are you going to let that fear hold you back? How long? And how many laps are you going to take in the desert before you decide to go all in on your purpose? All right, my friends, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm so excited to see you win. If you're taking a lap, tune in for next episode. We're going to get practical, tactical. We're going down into how to faith. I'm going to take you through the 4 principles and 4 pillars of faith that I have been using, that I use every single day, and how you can make faith very tangible, very practical. So if you're a heady person like me and you've struggled with just believing in this unseen thing, you've struggled with that relationship, you struggle with any relationships, I'm excited to share this teaching with you, because it's practical, it's tactical, it's proven, it works, and it's so stupid simple that you'll have a rock solid faith here in no time. As always, if you love this and it brought you value, please do me a big favor and share it, like it, tag it, give it to a friend, and leave me a comment, 5-star review. And as always, much love, many blessings, and I will talk to you soon. Boom.